Nightingale. Florence Nightingale was named after the beautiful city of Florence in Italy, where she was born. Her family were wealthy, and they loved to travel. Florence had an older sister called Parthenope. After Florence was born, her family moved back to England. Little Florence grew up in a lovely old house. It had a big library full of books and huge gardens full of flowers. Florence was a very clever child. Her father taught her at home, with her sister. They learned about history and English and learned to speak many different languages. Florence was also very good at mathematics. Florence believed in God, like the rest of her family. When she was a teenager, she felt that God had a special plan for her. She was going to help sick people to feel better. Florence cared for members of her family when they were ill. She also helped people who lived nearby when they were sick. Florence wanted to train to be a nurse, but Florence argued with her parents. Her mother believed that nursing was not a good thing for a young lady to do. She wanted Florence to get married one day instead and settle down. So, Florence decided to go traveling. She visited many countries, including Egypt, where she sailed up the River Nile. In Greece, she rescued an owl and called it Athena. However, Florence still dreamed of being a nurse. In Germany, she learned about looking after sick people. Her parents saw how determined she was. They helped her get a job at a hospital in London. When the Crimean War started, Florence read about how bad things were for injured soldiers. They were dying of diseases because the hospitals were dirty. The government wrote to Florence and asked her to help. So, Florence took a group of nurses to the soldiers' hospital in Turkey. She was shocked to see wards full of mess, rats, lice, and fleas. The doctors didn't want the women there at first. The nurses cleaned everything. They helped the soldiers to wash. There were only 14 baths for 2,000 men. The British government sent people to clean the hospital sewers. Food and medicine also came from England. Florence and the nurses wanted the soldiers to feel happy. They helped them write letters home so they weren't lonely. They even kept pets. One ward had a tortoise called Jimmy. At night, Florence walked through the wards checking on her patients. She stopped to say kind things to men who were frightened or sad. Soldiers started calling her the Lady of the Lamp. People heard about Florence's work and sent money to help. Newspapers wrote about her. Soldiers wrote about the nurses in letters home. Then Florence got sick. It took her a long time to get better. After the war ended, Florence went back to England and spoke to Queen Victoria. Florence showed everyone the graphs she had made, showing how important it was to look after patients properly. People were surprised. Many people now realized how important nursing was. They set up the Nightingale Fund and raised lots of money. Florence used this money to set up the Nightingale School of Nursing. Thanks to Florence, nursing had become a respectable job for women. During her long life, Florence wrote hundreds of books. She also set up training for midwives, who help women have babies. Florence was given a medal for her amazing work. The little girl, who was good at math and loved caring for people, used her skills to change the way we think about nursing forever.